human nature. It's just it. So the thing is that I think a lot of people like to get on this sort of political frenzy of getting amongst the issue and as I said earlier, virtue signalling.
Yeah.
But I just sort of think to myself, well, what are you actually doing about it?
Yeah.
Because it's all very well to say, oh, the police
Thank
in this,
you, Suzanne.
the police in
Susanna.
this country are so shit, and it's there's terrible racism and that sort of thing, and it's just like, yep, true.
Yeah.
But what are you actually doing about it? And I think especially a lot of white people love to appear as though they're deeply concerned and that they're very vocal about racism and very vocal about all of these social justice issues, but I just don't take any of it seriously, really, because if you actually care, get in and do something.
To get the best out of your lawyer, are you better off doing legal aid or paying outright?
Paying.
Of
course, because if you are a private client, you're paying more than the legal aid rate, so therefore your lawyer is probably going to pay more attention to your case. Because we're just I've been in this job not very long, and pretty much as soon as I get there, here is 10 files, here is 10 clients, deal with it. That's just I'm just getting started. That is going to be double anytime soon. It is. There is just so much happening, and so often these charges, they're just a waste of time.
I can imagine.
There is so much violence going on and so much terribleness happening.
And they want to give you petty crime files.
And then it's just like, okay, well, possessing cannabis. P-wits, yeah, exactly. Or all of these little crimes that are just clogging up the system.
They'll probably give you one of his files to look at one of his files for Cannabis Society.
P-wits, man.
Yeah.
We could ask ourselves, why is it that you've got an entire caucus of people who have various skills, characteristics, positive things that they could bring to the table. Why is it that these people don't get the light of day? And why is it that people who realistically we can't trust end up in these biggest positions of power? And that's because it's just all about playing the game of politics. And it's the same thing in any power structure. It's just playing the game, and generally the best people aren't the people who are engaged in
which totally sucks, because it doesn't do them. Like, if I was a police officer, if we was all police officers here, and obviously a few of us was dodgy and a few of us was good, I would just be thinking, like, if I was a good police officer, but over the years it's like I didn't really communicate with people that much or whatever. I didn't show people that I was actually a good police officer. But some of you guys who are bad police officers, you've done more over the years to show people why obviously there's bad police officers. What I would think to myself one day, maybe I'm not doing myself any justice, if you get what I'm trying to say, because it's like, over the years, like I keep on saying, the balance of bad versus good, most of us, and it's not even just, let's keep it real, it's not even just black or whatever. A lot of people, like, white, whatever, in different communities, like, the balance has always gone like this: good, bad, and it's like, over the years, we've seen more bad police officers than good. So it's like, I think with this stigma, that's why I just think to myself, if you're a good police officer and you're listening to this, wherever you might be listening to, whatever, all we just ask for, will the real, like Eminem said once upon a time, like, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? So will the real, like, the good...
for me, I think that being able to learn the law is a privilege. It's like learning a language that only some people can speak, but it applies to every single person.
Ah, well said.
So it's like, if you're going to...
I like that one.
If you have the privilege of learning and understanding and being able to speak that language, what are you going to do with it that's actually going to serve people? And I think that there's barely any money in criminal defence. There's a lot more in prosecution. This is criminal defence. We operate on legal aid. So the state essentially provides funds to support people to get a defence who cannot...
I don't know about these things.
Who cannot, fund their own defence, because lawyers are expensive, essentially. So, but the prosecution services get about double the amount as...
Double?
Yeah. pretty much. So if I was to go and work in prosecution,
Yeah.
I would be
Who
earning
pays them?
the state.
The state. Fucking
So
hell,
they're both state funded,
Yeah.
but the prosecution services
Sector, yeah.
are, your salary as a lawyer is significantly higher than a defence lawyer,
Well,
because
goddamn.
there's only so much you can do with legal aid.
Yeah.
And this government especially has made it more and more difficult to actually create a feasible career with criminal defence.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I was such a nerd. I would like, during my study periods in school, I would like go down to the courts and sit in court and watch court happen.
And how old was you?
About 16,
Oh
17.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was so weird. And people, like my yearbook quote at school is call 0800 Susan Harper for legal advice.
Listen, I wouldn't say like, obviously a lot of different people have got different meanings to like weird or whatever. I wouldn't say it was weird.
Yeah.
It just sounded like you was in your own world, in your own bubble.
I've always been a strong visualizer.
Yeah.
So I would visualize myself in a courtroom, leading a certain type of life.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think that's how I think you need to have those kinds of visualizations if you actually want to get motivated to chase something, because human beings are very reward driven people. Like, I mean, we get most of our motivation or drive to do something from literally something as simple as a hit of dopamine. So it's like, if there's something, a reward in sight, human beings are going to get motivated to go and chase that. Or if there's a threat in sight, human beings are going to get motivated to run away from that. So if you